Class, in our first session, we talked about negotiations, and mostly we talked about negotiations in relationship to collective bargaining agreements. But I want you to know that you need to know how to cost out for any type of employer, whether they have a union or not. So let's go through this real clearly because you're going to need it for the next few weeks. First of all, as far as negotiations, let's start with wages. With wages, I want you to remember the following things. On a quiz or an exam, I'm going to give you the wages that the employees make. So let's say we've got 50 employees. What you want to do is take that times 2080 hours. And I say that because what I assume is there's 52 weeks and there's 40 hours per week in a year. So then what you get, once you do that, is you've got your $20 times your 50 employees times your 2080, and that will give you the total wages for a year for the employer. Next, I want to look at pension. Some of you seemed confused by that. Many employers provide pensions in order for their employees to have retirement funds. The one thing I want you to remember is that before, pensions were thought of as, everyone got them. But unfortunately what's happened, for instance, if we look at General Motors, is that those pensions or legacy costs were underfunded. So as a consequence, those folks were not getting the pensions that they thought they were. In fact, many people say that the GM bailout or bankruptcy was due to the fact that they had underfunded their pension plan and they had to figure out some way to get out of it. Typically, we think of pensions as vested, that they're actually property of the employee. However, bankruptcy judges decided, just like they might reduce or get rid of debt for General Motors, that they could also get rid of all of the pension that was due to the employees because of the bankruptcy and keep the employer, General Motors, going. Because if General Motors went into bankruptcy, it would be the biggest bankruptcy of all time, which would have a huge impact on a global economy, but also those employees wouldn't see a dime if they went bankrupt. Now let's get back to how you figure out a pension. Typically, union or not, a pension is in addition to the wages. I can't say that enough. It's an addition to the wages. It's an idea that you're saving up for retirement. And so what you do is you take the 20, you take for the employer, so you've got your $20 for your employment as far as your wage per hour, times 3%, times the number of employees, okay? And then what you do is that will give you your pension per year. So that 3% is times $20 per hour times 50, and that's what's going to get you per year. Now, that's the 50 employees, okay? And that's your annual per year pension.